ID. It's me 5 at the door. All right. All right, you good. You go inside.
All right, perfect. Morno, everybody. I have 2 friends. We've been doing music stuff for a while, and y'all been doing music stuff for a while, and I feel like, I can call you guys friends. We've played a couple shows together, and y'all have been doing some like really cool stuff. Everyone that I show your record to falls immediately in love. No one wants to call it emo. It's hilarious. I don't know where you guys live in it. It's my favorite part about y'all's sound. I literally was at a wedding and played tracks 2, 3, and 4 just to show like the thing and what y'all can do. And I have Bummer Hill. Hello, everybody. Welcome, Bummer Hill. I got Jack and Dawson with me.
Hey guys.
Thanks for having us, Kristy.
Yeah, my dogs. The record that you released is one of my favorite records I put on. Just to tell a story, I redid my bedroom. I did the floor, all the laminate, and it was a fucking nightmare. I didn't have a saw, so I hand sawed all the ends to get down to everything, and it was an absolute fucking nightmare. And the only way to get through it was I had to put on Far Removed very loudly, and like singing as loud as I could in my house to like get through every section of this. Like I was just left alone and just listened to it about 4 or 5 times just to like get through the last couple hours of it. It was an absolute nightmare, but you saved my life.
Hell yeah.
That warms my heart, man.
I'm glad to
awesome.
hear it. Yeah.
It's a emotional roller coaster of a record for an emotional roller coaster of an experience, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was. There's something about that record, and just like you giving me like act 1, 2, and 3 of like the final part of whatever it was. It was exactly what I needed, and it's exactly whenever I show somebody the record, everyone's like, okay, this is so sick. The name rules, the album art rules, everything that y'all are doing is like so much fun, and y'all are doing so much visual stuff. The new stuff that you're doing is a huge visual thing as well. I know, Dawson, you're involved with stagehand stuff, and like you're are you trying to do movie things? Like I know you and one of your best buds from the Callous Cowboys, like y'all do a lot of visual stuff, and does that try to translate into this whole Bummer Hill project?
Well, the stagehand stuff is really just so I can pay my rent. It's not really related to movies or anything. It's mostly live shows, actually.
Okay, cool.
Like, I helped set up the stage for The Weeknd and Tate McRae's most recent tours. It's also corporate events, too. I'm not really trying to get into film, even though I have a film degree, because I was 18 and going to college, and I was like, I like movies. I want to get a degree in that. Yeah. I still love movies. I mean, I watch them all the time, but it's just not something I want to make a career out of. What I want to make a career out of is the band, which is why we're putting so much effort into it. But yeah, it's I wouldn't say my stagehand work really has any impact on the visual aspect of the band, because I'm self-taught in graphic design, and as far as the filmmaking stuff goes, I have to be on camera for these videos, so it's not like I'm doing a whole lot behind the camera either. So
I think to interject, that is like how me and Dawson met.
Yeah.
Though we went to film school together, so we do kind of share like a love for that medium, and we made like a lot of student films and shit together like back in the day, and we are very passionate about visuals, and I think that shows, like especially with this new project. Like we spent a lot of time like getting a shot list together and like kind of like planning out what this what this video was going to be and stuff. And like we put a lot of energy into our visuals. So I think that is partly derived from the fact that we did go to, film school together, and we do kind of have more know-how than the average DIY Andy about how to make things look cool and stuff. And like we know a lot of people that are also in the industry and have film know-how and stuff. So definitely a big part of the band for sure.
Yeah, there's like this thing that you did in the beginning. Let's talk about Far Removed, because as much as we tried to get together to talk about that, I think we're going to do this nice little shoelace thing between the critical acclaim like Far Removed record to this new stuff. The Far Removed record, when it came out, just grabbed me immediately. Started talking to you guys. Y'all are just like the coolest. What was it like writing that record? I feel like it would be really cool to like know why you decided to put all the loves of like the constellation of everything from hardcore to bossa nova to all these things, and like the organization of it and why it's so special. Like it'd be cool to like kind of walk through that.
Yeah. I think that we were kind of having, like, in retrospect, maybe a bit of an identity crisis as a band when we were doing Far Removed, because like we had this batch of like 10 or 12 songs that we went into the studio thinking we were going to do, and like we ended up, Dawson, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but we ended up like kind of like while we were in the process of being in the studio whittling it down to like the six, it was six originally, most like, or maybe it was five, and then we tacked on Vonnegut and Daisies.
We
or
had
something
10,
like that.
And we cut 3 of them right before we went into the studio, because we decided that those 3 just weren't working. Like they weren't up to the quality of the other 6. And then we couldn't figure out if we wanted it to be an EP or an album. And then Jack had Daisies that like it wasn't really originally part of the track list, but I kind of kept pushing for him to finish that one because I felt like the record needed something like that to kind of round it out. So we had 6, and then Jack finished Daisies while we were in the studio, because recording took a couple months, not like consistent in the studio every single day for a couple months. Like it was just whenever we could, across that stretch of time. And in that
none of
time,
us had like the resources to take off for like a week and just go. So we would just go in like whenever we had the free time, like however many of us could make it. Because at the time we did that record, just me, Dawson, and Rui, our drummer, and then Chance kind of started playing with us when we were touring that record.
Chance was he started playing with us in 2023. But he's in this other band, All I Hear Is Birds, which is like an unfairly great band.
They're so good.
It's like fucked up how good their record is. So we weren't putting any pressure on him to join Bummer Hill full time or anything. And he didn't decide to join until after Far Removed had been out for a few months. So he wasn't like part of the band until after that record was done. So yeah, it was just us 3 going into the studio whenever we could, and trying to finish this record that we eventually did decide was an album, even though it's 7 tracks.
It's this weird, like, awkward little, like, 25-minute 7 tracks. Like, some people call it an EP, and like that's fine, because it is very much like the whole ethos behind that record was to be like, let's put out something that shows how much ground we can cover in like a short amount of time, as like, because the idea is to be like, this is like what this band is, and like all the stuff that came before it is cool and still a part of our discography and stuff, but this is like what we're doing moving forward. We want to be unpredictable. We want to have the solid emo kind of pop hook oriented songwriting at the core of everything. But also we kind of want to keep you on your toes and not be predictable, not let you know where we're going to go next. And we may be one a little, in my opinion, because this record is a little over a year old now, and hindsight is 2020. It's maybe a little bit too indecisive, a little bit too I mean, I still love Far Removed. It's still a great record in my eyes, and I'm really proud of it. But I think everything we have going forward is going to be a little more focused, a little more sure of itself, a little more still kind of has that element of unpredictability and eclecticness, because we get bored super easily, all of us. We don't really jive super heavily with a lot of the tropes and lyrics and trends that are going on with a lot of modern emo music. From a lot of our peers, we don't really it's not to say that we don't love a lot of these bands that we tour with and all that. It's just not it's not something that resonates with us super heavily. So going forward, it's going to be the same kind of vibe as Far Removed, but a lot more focused, a lot more more of an identity, I guess. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was kind of the idea with that record. Definitely just show the full depth of what we can do, what the full scope. I guess.
There's totally a thing of some people, when people release a record, I think let's take a look at pop punk records. At pop punk records, it shows you their space, which is it's like a living room. That's kind of the space that they exist. It's a fine space. It's not very large, but it is a fine space to be in. But when you release this record, it's this loft. It's there's a lot of space for you for Bummer Hill to exist in sonically. So it's cool to say, hey, we're going from this loft, this big space, and we're going to make it a little bit smaller, to show hey, we're going to focus it. It's going to be instead of this big grand, you show you what we can do. It's hey, let's see what happens when you put it on this whole thing under a microscope. So that, and as someone that's heard the new, this is a 3-song. Is this 3 songs that are coming out? It's just 2. It's just,
yeah. It's a double single.
It's a really long thing. it's it's so cool. The double single are these the B-sides from the first recording, or are these the pre-sides that you're letting to be themselves from when you guys went to the studio earlier this year?
It's
this is no, you got it, Dawson.
It's an entirely separate thing from Far Removed and from the next record. Mm-hmm. It was they came about because this was after Chance was added to the band. And Jack had a couple ideas that he wanted to work out live in practice with us. Because up until this point, Jack would finish a song, send it to us, and then Rui and I would write our own parts to it and provide suggestions as to structure and everything like that. But largely the songs would remain the same from when Jack sent them to us and then we wrote on it. I think the only exception to that is Two Steps, because I had a lot more input on that one as far as structurally goes, and I also wrote lyrics for that one too. And I'm doing the vocals on that one, so I wanted it to be
it's kind of yours. You got to wear the hat.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted it to work, but these 2 new songs they come from us working on these ideas live at practice and trying to write them together as a group. And I think it went great. These two songs are my favorite stuff that we have right now, apart from the new stuff.
Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, they really came about from trying to become more and more of a band, because this band, the origins are in Jack just having a solo project. Because him and I were in an indie rock band in 2019, and our first show was scheduled for April of 2020. And I'm sure we don't need to tell you why that didn't happen.
Something crazy happened. Everyone decided to go inside. Nothing serious. Just everyone was just inside
No,
for a few months. Nothing.
just like an interesting time skip for like a year and a half.
Oh yeah,
And
we all One Piece. Yeah, 100%.
in that time,
Such a-
that band broke up, and Jack started.
It was
writing
such a
on his
dog
own.
shit indie rock project that everybody had to go inside for a year and a half.
Hey,
Um,
I found all of like the old music from that band. There's a couple hits.
It was
in there.
good.
There's a couple.
There's
hits.
we may have been cooking on some stuff in there.
All of
Yeah,
our
no, for
songs
sure.
were either 5 or 6 minutes though, and that is just like, you gotta chill the fuck
Yeah.
out. Like,
Yeah,
like
we've always had grand ambitions.
Yeah!
as musicians,
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah,
That's
but
great.
Jack,
6 minute.
he wanted to, like, he still writes music all the time, so like he just was like, you know, I'm not gonna wait for a band to pop up to write this thing. So he wrote Greetings from Bummer Hill, which is all him. And then I still wanted to be in a band with Jack because that's my dog. And I think we work really well together. And I was looking for a drummer, and our mutual friend Alec got me in contact with Rui. And I was like, Jack, I found a drummer. Do you want to start a band? And he was like, I kind of want to focus on these like songs that I've written. And I was like, let's do that. Let's just play these songs. And from there, it's become, as it went on, it turned into from Rui and I playing for Jack to a whole band, which was what City Limit was, and then Far Removed. And now we're fully working on making sure that every song we do now at least has a phase where everyone works on it live together at practice. So it's just kind of been a process from like just Jack to now everyone. And I think you can kind of tell as well, especially with these two new ones, because Chance is such a gifted guitarist. Like he started learning guitar by learning like Metallica and Judas Priest and shit like that. So he got like a leg up just instantly, and he's fucking insane. And you can definitely tell because he's pulling some irresponsible shit on these new tracks that we definitely wouldn't have done beforehand.
Oh, absolutely. He's unholy when it comes to like, you know, what Homie can do. So like it's very cool to see kind of like this. Not that there wasn't like lead guitar on the first record, but in these two new songs, there's like a specific lead guitar part throughout the entire two songs. And so there's, you know, this Bummer Hill idea has rounded out even more, which is just so cool. I think just this paired with the visual element and everything that y'all are trying to do now, it's like you've gone from like 720p to 1080. Like it's totally exactly kind of how it feels. The clearer focus. It's just very exciting.
Hope we get to 4K someday.
One day.
Yeah.
I recently just speaking of dumb like 4K stuff, I recently heard that things are being shot in 8K right now, and I feel like that's just irresponsible. I don't understand what that means anymore. So like if you guys are ever going to shoot for 8K, it's just to the fucking stratosphere. Like I believe in Bummer Hill, like I believe in 8K Bummer Hill, but just in general, that just sounds so irresponsible.
Well, the bit with 8K is so that they can export it in 6K. Because typically, like 4K things that you've seen are shot in 6K, but they are put out in 4K.
So it's their
So
raw. Their raw is in 6K, and then
yeah,
they're color correcting in 4K and everything.
yeah. The video we shot was raw in 4K and put out in 2K.
Okay. So the thing is that can't eyes only see definition of so much?
Yes, but
But
uh, but it's not really trying to match what an eye can see. It's trying to bring out the most detail in the frame. So like that's why that like Criterion does like new 4K remasters of shit like every other year.
sure.
It's because they have the original prints and the technology is getting better, so they're able to bring out more detail in the frame and like bring it closer to what it might have been like to watch it in a theater back then, because like, if they had like good projectors back then, I don't fucking know, but
Interesting.
yeah, like that's the idea behind it. It's not to make it seem like you're there. It's to make sure that everything is visible.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, and the reason I want to the movies thing and want to translate the stuff just because of I know y'all love movies. The fact that you guys went to film school is very obvious now. Is there something about do you see a translation from your love of movies to why you structured the record far removed as you did with like this a almost not a cataclysm, but like an act one problem. The act one problem is like two steps back and then like everything comes down crashing. Then there's like the climax. There is like structure. And I've been thinking about it for a long time since I started listening to this record. Like, oh my God, there's like actual act one, act two, act three on this record.
I think definitely, yeah, yeah. We thought a lot about the track order for Far Removed, and yeah, it's kind of like I hate when a record doesn't flow good.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
I hate when there's a lot of start and stop.
Mm-hmm.
Like I am all about like a seamless transition
Mm-hmm.
from one track to the next. Like that happens multiple times on that record, and I am yeah, I and like there's going to be a lot more of that. Like that's what this double single
Mm-hmm.
is. It's like it's two songs that are like two sides of the same coin, basically. Like but yeah, it's as you say, like it starts off, it ramps up slow, kind of you get to like your climax kind of in the middle of the record, and those in that like tracks 4 and 5 area, and then it like kind of ramps up again in Think Less in track 6, and then it like comes down and has like a nice kind of quiet resolution. I don't know, it like it's a ride. And I like records that do that. Like I don't want it to feel like this is just a bunch of songs that we wrote at the same time and we front loaded it and we put all the heat at the front and we put all of like the weird like deep cuts at the back. Like I don't know.
Sure.
I want it to. I love like a balanced listening experience.
I think it's really important. Like, I think I was talking to Alec from A Palette Knife, where homie was talking about on their new record, there's going to be like a lot of start and stops. Something that they're trying to convey a very specific thing with this. Is it my preferred listening experience? Not necessarily. I do like everything to smooth nicely from one thing to another thing. It's like when you
I
listen
think it like
yeah.
Sorry.
No, keep going.
I think it depends though, because like Palette Knife is sick. I
Mm-hmm.
think like so if they're going into this next record with the explicit intention of starting and stopping, it's probably a really good reason.
Sure.
So,
Yeah. Coming
like
from
that probably like I feel like it'll probably be good. I mean, like just as an example of a record that I think is not sequenced well at all is Vices and Virtues by Panic at the Disco.
sure.
Like the sequencing on that record is fucking dog shit. Like, the only thing that record gets right is opening with Ballad and closing with Nearly Witches. Everything in between is just a fucking mess. Like, and even then, like I've seen arguments to where some people are like, "Oh, it should open with Ready to Go because that's like it starts with that." But even if you think that is smack dab in the middle, it just like it's like, oh, the record is starting again. Okay, interesting.
Yeah,
And
weird. You're totally right. Do y'all believe in like the second track is like the number one track?
what do you mean?
I think I don't know if it's always the number one
It's always
track,
like
but I
the
think
first, either the first single or the second single is number two, and they have to be like
track
it has to be.
yeah,
I don't know if it.
track 2 or track 3 is like a very important space in the record to like get it right. Like I think that's like your prime real estate, cuz like people are going to listen to track 1. If it's like an intro track or something, they're going to be like, "Okay, that was the intro track, so this next one is the real first track."
Yes.
But like if it's like if your first track is like no, track 1 can be like the banger. It can be like you can just like come in swinging, and I think that's dope too. But it's like if you're gonna ease into it, like that track 2, track 3, that's where you gotta get your hooks in. You know?
Yeah, I think there's something about like I think the span of attention most people have for records is by the third song, if not the second song. So like the second song
Yeah.
has to be like the thing that carries them through the rest of the record in a weird way, where like at least through the first half, and then they get like maybe that's why you balance. You know, if you're doing 10 songs, it's like 2 and then 5 and then 7 and then who knows if they get to the end. If any musician looks at their plays, the last song is always the least amount played. Like it's weird to see them near everything else because it's crazy that everyone's listening to the whole fucking record.
Yeah, it's kind of yeah. Now that you like spell it out like that, it does make a lot of sense. Like I've always thought that the second or third track is very very crucial. I mean, if I just saw My Chemical Romance at Shaky Knees, so like they've been on the mind, but the Black Parade is a perfectly sequenced record.
Yes.
Like starting out with the end and then right into Dead is like a perfect hook. And if you're not in it yet, then they hit you with This Is How I Disappear, and it's like, oh shit, oh, this is a real album. Like it's
yes,
like
1,000,000%.
sequencing is really really important to me, because you can have written the best 12 tracks in the entire world, but if they're not sequenced correctly, no one is going to give a shit. And unless you're like a TikTok artist whose song like just blows up on there, and then people don't really consume your shit as an album anyway, you can kind of just do whatever you want, and like as long as you post a banger TikTok about it, you can get away with it. But we're not that kind of band.
I'm trying.
We haven't had
and it's,
anything
and it's
hit
no
like
knock
that.
against like it's no knock against bands or artists that like deal exclusively in singles,
No, not
or
at all.
like or against like like what Palette Knife's doing with their, like, I'm excited to hear
Totally.
that, because that's I really fucked heavy with New Game Plus, and I think they're a great band, and I'm sure they got like a really cool like concept in mind. But like, I don't know. There's just something. If something feels like cinematic about having, a track list that flows really, really seamlessly, and I don't know. There's always been like an element of storytelling to what we do too. So it just makes sense for what we want people to feel when they listen to our shit.
Yeah, there's specifically, I think it's Have a Nice Life, the transition between actually Ladybugs and then Two Steps Back. There's a specific, not to get into like nitty gritty song stuff, but the first two dissonant half step notes that you hear in Two Steps Back are also the final two in key notes that you hear in Ladybugs. It is I think it's one of the most, like, it's such an impressive feat where I'm like, oh, fuck, wait, hold on, I gotta ask, did you do that on purpose? Like, that's how I felt when I heard that. I was like, oh, shit. Like that was like, there's so many moments on that where you're talking about key changes. The music theory part of Far Removed, I think, is just like on another level.
Thank you.
Yeah, like there's
Yeah.
just something about like is there anything that, when you were writing that record that you were thinking about like those key changes, wanting to make sure that you're staying while you're transitioning from song to song, having those notes, hey, we're going to stay here. Like was it about your range that you're like, hey, I can sing in this range so I'm going to stay near these keys?
Partially, yeah. I definitely am like, I remember thinking like, and this feeling is only like expounded with time, but I remember thinking when I was writing these songs, like this is going to be like a pretty high register for me, like vocally. And I've kind of embraced that a lot, and like kind of embraced this kind of like yelly shout singy thing,
Sure.
and a lot of like our more like boppy kind of tracks. And like I'm still able to like go to like pretty like melodically sound like, singy places too. But like I've kind of embraced like, when I get up into like the really top end of my head voice, like that kind of shouty sound for tracks like Have a Nice Life. And but yeah, like the transition from Ladybugs into Two Steps was kind of by design, like from the get. Like I wrote that end of Ladybugs knowing it was going to go into something like we wanted to do something kind of heavy. Like we wanted to do like a hardcore type thing. And I was like, at first I was like, maybe it should just be like let me kind of not half-ass it, but let me try to still make it like an emo song to a certain extent. But like it was a lot more impactful to just like send it. I feel like because I was writing the riff for Two Steps Back, and like I was demoing it out like I usually like with my normal process, and I was writing like melodies and like vocal lines and stuff, like because Dawson kind of took the vocal lines I had and ran with them, because like frankly I sounded like a little bitch when I was doing those, like when I was trying to like do the hardcore vocal thing. Like I do not have like, my voice does not have like muscle like Dawson's does.
Sure.
When it comes to like doing like actual screaming and shit, like I don't really have the chops, or I didn't have the chops. I'm working on it, but yeah, I knew that transition, like that kind of dissonant, think I'm gonna die, 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 die,
Yeah,
like that part, like that. I wanted it to be kind of like a grand, like Ladybugs was the first single, and like you hear that outro in the first single when there's nothing else out, and you're like, whoa, where are they going with this? So that was kind of part of the mindset with that. Like we put that out as the first song, and then you don't hear Two Steps until the record comes out, and you're like, oh shit, this is insane. It's like, because like I would say that Have a Nice Life kind of has some like core quote unquote elements to it, maybe like easy core more than anything, with like the chugs and stuff that happen in that song.
Yeah.
So that it is kind of like a through line that connects Have a Nice Life and Two Steps. And there's some more of that in like other parts of the record too, but like Vonnegut to Have a Nice Life and then Ladybugs to Two Steps, those two pairs were like by design from the get. Like they were kind of like they're in the same, like with Vonnegut and Have a Nice Life especially, they're in the same key. Like they were going to go into each other. That was like by design for sure.
I feel when I think about the Ladybugs sound and going into the Two Steps Back thing, I don't know if anyone remembers this, but like we all might do, but like listeners, I have no idea. But there used to be this thing where there was like this one guy that was like making music videos that had like a bunny rabbit in it. And the bunny rabbit, like little, it was like in a brand new music video. It's in the Ocean Avenue music video. It's like, I can't remember, like the homie would always do like weird, like almost not necessarily sci-fi-ish, but like a, like Twilight Zone-esque music video. Ocean Avenue is like repeating the same thing over and over, trying to get closer to this thing. The brand new thing, it was like everything that he does, everyone else is doing. But it's all the same thing. Whenever I heard, and I think about that music video, or I think about that song going into Two Steps Back, I always think it's like back in the day in 2005 when you'd suddenly see like a to be continued on like a music video. Like they're like such a classic thing that like maybe we should just fucking bring that shit back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and that like the Ladybugs music video with like that we shot in like an abandoned house with like the ghost thing, like the sheet ghost.
Totally, that's how it felt.
Yeah, that's kind of the idea. It's like a cliffhanger. So we felt like that was a good one to lead off with for sure. And it also just like that song is like kind of the most like infectious, like poppiest hook, I guess, like with that chorus.
I don't know why that isn't our biggest song, honestly. Like
yeah, I mean it makes sense. People in the emo and like kind of core adjacent spaces love like a banger. They like and Have a Nice Life definitely is that.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that that's kind of stayed number one.
not anymore.
Well, recently, yeah, we had a damn Instagram reel of Dawson doing a crazy mosh call to Two Steps Back,
right.
Pop Off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last
and so
I
has
looked,
been,
it's at like 117,000 views or something.
Let's fucking
so now Two Steps is number one, where before it was hovering around number 3 or 4 since the album came out.
In recent months, yeah. Have a Nice Life is still most streamed, but it is sitting at number one. Two Steps is, which is really funny.
That's so sick. The social media part of it is
It's
fun.
sick.
The social media part of it,
Yeah.
there's a drag to it, but there's also like if you just kind of like there's a part of me where I think bands kind of like when you get into the river and you get into the whitewater rafting of like going to do TikTok stuff and all those things, like there's a lot of frustration in trying to swim uphill or swim upstream. And, you know, you just lay back into it and you just like, just get into whatever everyone else is doing. Just do the fucking thing. There's freedom in it. And like, it would be less stressful than you just getting mad at having to fucking do it. It's part of it. It's here to stay. As long as you are in the mindset of like, oh, this is just what I have to do, that's fucking fine with me.
Yeah, I mean, like that. I've been uploading a TikTok and an Instagram reel almost every day for a couple months now. It's at least it feels like a couple months. And the reason I started doing that was because we almost landed like a really big tour. I'm not going to say who with or anything, but the reason why we didn't land that tour is because like we were going to be the one of, and the band's management wanted us to draw 50 to 100 tickets per city.
Whoa.
And the way, like where we're at right now, impossible. It really is all just bigger number, better person. And if you grind on TikTok and Instagram reels, your number will grow. Like I think we've gone up like 250 followers since I've started doing this.
More than that, yeah,
maybe
like
300,
probably like over 300.
Yeah,
it's
and like we
like
hovered around like 700 monthlies on Spotify, and now we're over 1,000 pretty consistently. So like, it is annoying that we have to do this, but there will be material benefits from it because a promoter or an agent will look at our numbers and see, oh, they're a better person because of these bigger numbers. So it's just in service of that because, like, you know, we were too small to get onto this tour. So now next time that kind of opportunity rolls around, we won't be.
Cool.
Yeah. And I'm very grateful for Dawson because I just don't have content brain, man. Like I don't really consume content like that. Like I deleted TikTok because I have like crazy ADHD, and if I get zeroed in on something for too long, 2 hours go by, and I'm like, I can't let this keep happening to me. So I have like screen time limits and stuff. I basically just use Instagram to like book and like do stuff for the bands as much as I can. But yeah, I'm very grateful that, you know, Dawson has the swag points to sit down and bang out a TikTok every day and post it on Instagram Reels and stuff, and it just like helps. It's so aggravating that like, this is how you do things now.
Yeah.
Like, and anybody who like people gaff all the time on the internet, and they're like, oh, you don't have to be a content slave to like, do whatever, the XYZ band from XYZ era made it just by like touring relentlessly. And it's like, that's great. You can do that, but it's just not the world we live in anymore. Like people don't like the pandemic was kind of like the nail in the coffin for people just being like, oh, let me go out and see who's playing at this venue tonight. Like people do that still, but it's not like it's to like a tenth of the way it used to be like that, even that. Like people need to like find what they're interested in through the apps at this point. So it's a game, and it's definitely like it's one that it's one that we play, but it's one that we're not like super stoked to play, because at the end of the day we just want to like make the music and go play shows and do all that stuff like anybody does. But
Yeah.
it's cool that it's like done some cool stuff for us and brought more people to us, and like more people have discovered us because of it. So it's like,
Yeah. It genuinely is like, I've talked to Carson from Dowboys just a shit ton about this, because like he came up, like Dowboys came up just a few years before we started being a band, and
Hold
even
on just
in
a second. I'm gonna make sure
You're
this
good.
dog needs to shut the fuck up. Parker, come
the
here.
doggy.
Give me a second. No, come here.
Imagine he's cutting this bit out. I could say anything I want.
Lay down. Lay down.
careful.
Parker, lay down.
Careful.
All right, hell yeah. Okay, cool. Keep going. Carson, you and Carson have been talking about it.
Yeah. We have a podcast together about Fall Out Boy called This Ain't a Scene, It's a Podcast. And we don't talk about any of this on air usually, because like we like to shit talk a little bit. So we don't want to blow up any opportunities for Dowboys or us by saying some irresponsible shit on air, and then it gets back to someone who would like get fucked up about it or anything. But yeah, Dowboys came up, and like they kind of started blowing up when Die on Mars came out in 2019. And like over COVID, their profile grew just as more people found that record, because everyone was inside. It's not like you had anything better to do other than listen to Atlanta Mathcore. But the way that they got their name out to other people was they could genuinely, like back then, you could book a tour by hopping on shows that already existed. Like you could reach out to a promoter in Minneapolis and be like, are there any shows happening this day? And they'd be like this. And then you'd be like, can we hop on that? And that was allowed. Now you have to build the whole tour around you. Like you can't just hop on a whole bunch of shows that are already happening in a row. You have to build the whole tour by yourself, making the shows as you go.
Yes.
And that is such, like, it seems like a small difference, because it's like, oh, well, the show's going to happen on this day anyway. What does it matter? But it is such a huge barrier, because booking a tour that way, rather than just hopping on shows that are already happening, is exhausting. Like Jack knows more of it than I do. Like he does most all of the booking for us. So like that barrier of entry towards touring, on top of the financial aspect, is making it so that a lot of bands these days just can't go out and tour like that. Like I was talking to Carson about it, and he was like, that's how we used to do it. And I was like, that's crazy, because you genuinely can't do that anymore. I don't know what changed. I don't know why you can't anymore. But if you try and do that on a tour, people will be like, oh, well, this show is already like locked in and happening and everything. Like 9 times out of 10, that's the response you're going to get. So it just feels like the landscape has completely changed. So that like, and Carson was like, I don't want every band to be a TikTok band. And it's like, I don't want that either, but you kind of have to be. because if you're not, then
It's
what are you doing? Like, how are you growing your
yeah,
profile
it's
if
not up to
not?
the, it's not up to the band anymore.
Yeah, like the band has like no say in it anymore. You have to try and grow your
Mhm.
profile online so that you can convince these promoters to book you. And
It's sink or swim, man. Yeah.
yeah, and it's sink or swim. And if you're not like, if you're serious about being in a band and you're not just pummeling the TikTok and uploading fucking a lot, and you're cooked basically. And there's, you know, there's right and cringe ways to go about it. Like I've seen some TikToks where they're basically just like fucking begging people to listen to their band, and it's like, you're not going to get anyone doing that. Like nobody watches a TikTok where the front person is going like, please listen to my band or I'll fucking kill myself, and they're like, I'm not gonna. They don't see that and they go, oh, I'm gonna listen to this band because they seem like a bunch of chill guys. Yeah, all
There's
this to
something
say,
about
like, yeah, the
no,
the
there's something
barrier
about
is just
begging.
the landscape has changed completely. The barrier has grown so much taller that any band who's going out there and touring a bunch, like I respect the fuck out of them because it's so hard to do.
Yeah, it's interesting to like, you know, first things first to see people like there's an ethical way of trying to do the band thing right now, and the ethical way in my mind is if you want to tour, do the work, but don't fucking beg. Like that is a huge thing that is just like can seem crazy to at least it looks crazy to me. I'm just like, why? Whoa, like, you know, there's like a hey dog, it's okay, you've decided to do the band thing. If you're gonna play the stupid game, there are stupid prizes. Like there it is part of the thing that you have to do. But there's a tighter, cooler way to ask for people to go to your fucking show. There's a tighter, cooler way to there's always like you can pivot any conversation that you have with promoters or any of that stuff to still be ethically like within the part of being in a band where you're not like looking like an idiot. Like there's like a total thing where I see a lot of bands do that, and I'm like, oh man, that's hey, good luck, you guys, you got this. And then there's bands that
Love, but
yeah, it's just like it's I love, you know, I love so many bands, and there's just no one teaches PR really, and it's just something that you have to like fucking learn yourself, and like not like don't look at me like as like the basis of what you should or shouldn't do in a band. It's just this is like, oh, there's obviously a cool answer and a cringe answer, and you can always lean in the cool way.
yeah.
If you don't see it, that's okay. You can look around you and you can see people who are doing it the cool way.
And more often than not, like depending on which route you go, that cultivates a different audience.
1 million.
Like if you're going on there and you're posting every day to TikTok something like, "Hey guys, I'm this band, and if you like Brand New and Hospital Bracelet and Falling in Reverse, you will love us." And it's like, not even. I mean, those three bands are obviously
that would be
memes.
such a weird band to be like the combination of all of those.
Yeah. But like
Actu-
the idea is
These are my idols.
these are
might
my
I say.
fucking idols, dude. Ronnie Radke is like the goat, dude. But like just going on there and being like, yeah, dude, if I'm this, if you like these bands, you'll like my band, and like you just spam that shit every single day. The only people that you're going to get following you and reposting your shit are other people who are also doing that.
Yeah.
And you're not going to grow any kind of fan base by doing that. You're just going to have a bunch of social media goblins all convening to your profile and all trying to get promotion from you. And you kind of have to trick people on TikTok into listening to your shit.
Totally. Like,
You kind of have to bait them. So.
There's like honestly, we should do like an emo jubilee. Like like there we go. That's the new trend is we all just get together.
Emo Jubilee, like 20v1, 20 brand new fans versus one normal guy.
versus one normal guy.
That's crazy.
Oh my
Dude,
god.
I actually don't think Jesse Lacey was that bad of a guy. And it's like, so there's 20 of you in this room with me? Like, get me out of here.
Oh my fucking god. Yeah.
What a disaster that would be.
What an absolute disaster. It's just some guy trying to escape a room. It's just and just screaming for help. No, there is I've seen that stuff where it's just like, hey, if you're showing up on my page or you've seen this video, you must be part of my audience.
God.
And then
I hate those.
it's like it's like you didn't dig deep enough. There's hey, you can dig a mile wide and an inch deep. There is a perfect balance of like you can dig 500 meters and a few feet deep. There's like a perfect balance of what you can and can't do between like perceived as genuine and also promoting and hoping to do marketing for this thing. And it's difficult, but everyone can do a thing. I love I didn't start doing my Morno thing like as a thing for promoting bands. I did it as my idea of marketing has always been lift other bands up and then they'll remember you in a way. Like, so I'm like, okay, cool. I'll just have my coffee in the morning and film myself fucking listening to some new shit and then tag them and hopefully they see my ass and then I go, oh cool, hey, remember me, you're coming into town, let's play a show. It's just there's simple things if you just use a little bit more of your brain and again, it's not about copying, it's about like being genuine and doing like something by yourself. And so
That was
And
go ahead, Jeff.
to like commend you a little bit, Kristy. That's like what you do to like platform people in our scene and like kind of spread the love is like a really admirable thing, because like not a whole lot of people are like willing to get outside of their bubble and stop worrying about their own shit, that they're like, let me like see what's going on and like actually, you know, shout out the people that are really doing like interesting, cool shit that I enjoy, and let me like, you know, do what I can to spread that love using my platform. And it's like, I mean, that's a really cool thing to do. And like the fact that you like bring a lot of people to Nashville and like, you know, you've been really accommodating for us a couple times, and it's cool, you know, like not a lot of people in the DIY space are able to get like their head out of like planning their own shit to do what you're doing. So it's really with this podcast too. Like it's sick. It's really cool.
I really appreciate it because I don't really getting complimented on this stuff, and this thing that I just naturally do it's hard to take this compliment because it's just like something I've just accidentally done because this is just interesting to me. I've told the story before, but the reason I even did this at all was like the music thing. It was a dare. 95 Corolla is a result of a dare, and then I got so. I'll never forget my wife asking me like, okay, so you have these songs written and you want to start a band. Why? Why do you want to do that? Like, if you need attention, like we can figure out a way for, you know, to do this healthily. There's just a lot of unhealthy things about starting a band attention wise. And I remember I've constantly just been like self-reflecting through the whole thing because I just never want to fall off the fucking edge. And something that I used as like a hack for that thing was like I worked for a podcast like tech company where I was like, okay, well, I'll start a podcast about this because I want to know how everyone's fucking dealing with this shit. Like, this is a really strange thing to start a band. This is a strange thing in your head. It's like when you make a song and like it takes off and you have to like find the fucking balance of like, yo, I'm I'm still not cool. Like I have to remain that way. And like to see, like I can't imagine what it's like in people's heads when they see big number go up. Like, and to like talk about those things, and like this is a natural thing where I just want to know where people's fucking heads are at. And now that like 95's on like a break, I have such another set of questions for people because I did this for a few years. How's everyone else fucking feel about this shit? Like the one question I want to ask you guys, because first of all, dog, thank you again. That's like huge. It means a lot. But like. The thing I wanted to ask you guys is, I think it's this way. I think these are actually both ways.
You do actually sound clearer now that you've rotated the mic.
Oh, fucking shit.
And louder as well.
Oh, no!
Like, you've sounded fine the whole time. Like, you haven't sounded bad at all. But now you sound
we can go back to
clearer.
one.
All right.
We can go back to one.
Yeah, it's been 55 minutes. We can just restart.
And take...
I remember everything.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like, I have this all transcribed with a bunch of AI tools. We're all good. There's the question I wanted to ask y'all after that incredible compliment is presented with the information that 99% of bands will not make it, and 0.9% of those bands can make a just under living wage forever doing the band stuff, and then the 0.1 of the bands get to do like this thing. Presented with that information, what is the thing that keeps you going and to like still strive for this dream?
Oh yeah. That's the question we ask ourselves every day. It is my thing, because I lose a lot of sleep over this shit. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm booking a tour right now. Like we're going on a tour with Motion Sick from
love
Michigan.
them. You guys are touring again.
Great. Yeah. We announced it a couple weeks ago, but I'm still like locking in a few more dates. It's gonna be in like starting in Bloomington, Indiana on October 17th, I believe, and then we're doing 8 or 9 days with them, or 8 or 9 shows. But like, booking tours, doing all of the back end shit, doing all the networking, doing all the social media bullshit, doing all the like. I send 3 DMs, 3 to 5 DMs every day to bands and promoters trying to like, get stuff locked in for some of these shows. And it takes like a mental toll. Like it really, really does. But like the thing that like keeps me doing it is just like, I remember when I was in high school and when I was in college and I first started listening to kind of more underground, like emo adjacent stuff. Like when I remember the first time I heard like Perspective, A Lovely Hand to Hold, and Remo Drive, and like Marietta, and like all these bands that are super important to me. And I remember being like, this is the coolest shit. Like this is like the town I was like going to high school in didn't necessarily have like a scene, quote unquote. There were shows that happened, but like, when I started going to school, to college at Georgia State, which is like downtown Atlanta, like in the thick of it, and started going to shows like properly, I remember the feeling being like, this is like, I feel like I know something that like 99% of people don't. And I'm feeling something that like hearing these bands and like discovering something that like kind of like moved me and made me feel, like how I'm supposed to feel, like having that feeling and like wanting to do that for like some other kid who's in a position that I was in, like with my band. It's just like the desire to make a mark is the thing that surpasses all of the headaches and the heartache and the going in the hole monetarily and setting money on fire, and like, because like if you're doing this shit to turn a profit and to make a like to want to make a career out of being in a band is like, I want to do it too. Like everybody wants to be there with this thing. That's like that's the end all be all. Like you've won.
Mm-hmm.
If you are able to like pay your bills from going on tour and selling t-shirts and records and stuff, like that's awesome. But like at the end of the day, the thing that makes me want to like keep going is like, I feel like until I've reached that level with people to where I can be like, yeah, like if I go to a show in like a city like across the country or wherever and be like, I'm in Bummer Hill, people be like, oh shit, I've like, you know, your shit means the world to me. And like that's happened a couple times, you know, it's cool. That is the thing that keeps me going, is wanting to get that with more and more people and just like have people like connect and be moved by the shit we do. That's like, that's the thing. 100%.
It's intoxicating.
So just like
It's so
it
good.
is intoxicating.
Purely intoxicating. It's
Yeah.
there's no other way to explain how that feels. It is a fully, it's also the only industry where you can feel this. Like 1,000,000%.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't know, just I wanted to do something that's like, you know, that I can say is completely mine, and like I share it with these dudes in the band, and it's like, you know, we're not compromising. We're not doing something to like conform to whatever landscape or trends is happening in like whatever music scene. It's like we don't really necessarily feel like we belong in emo. We don't feel like we belong in hardcore. We don't feel like we belong really in like a specific, like all the bands that we like look up to and like want to be in a position to play with are like, you know, they're there. And like we want to like make it to that point where we're like, you know, we're looked at like the same way, and like, you know, there's like a respect to being like like a professional quote unquote touring musician. I don't care if I have to come home and continue working my bartending job, and like, you know, because like at the end of the day, everybody who's like in a quote unquote successful band that's made it has to come home and work a shit ass job. Like that's, or not, maybe like it's a day job, something to pay the bill. Like that's not what this is for, really. At least in my eyes, this is like a different kind of fulfillment. You know, this is like, I'm gonna do this until I can't, until I feel like I've said everything I need to say, and I've reached all the people that I think I can reach. Like, I wanna keep doing it. So that's my goal, man. Just to like give people what I felt from bands that meant a lot to me, like when I was young and impressionable and shit.
Yeah.
And not so
There's something about like
jaded.
There's something about like, listen, you know, lights last for only X amount of time. And when you put a light in, you're like, hey, this is my light. I'm going to just shine as brightly as possible for the people that shone for me. I think that is a really, really awesome and ethical way of like putting it, where you're like, listen, I'm going to do this until I can't. I hope I get to touch as many people as I can, like with my music. It's admirable. I mean, you've touched me with your music in a way that like I didn't expect. My wife loves you guys. My wife is so hard to impress, you guys. You have to understand. It is so it's she loves you guys, and it's
so sweet.
It's to get Lex's approval is like a massive fucking thing. She's got such a high bar. So yeah, it feels. I think that chasing the to be the brightest light for people to share that feeling, I think that is like the good reason. I think that those are of the myriad of reasons to fucking do this, that is such a good one. What a great reason to like be in a band.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's like this is how I feel I can be the most authentically me. It's like this is like songwriting and like, you know, making and playing music is like one of the only things I think I'm really good at. And it's like, you know, if there's anything that people are going to recognize me being good at something, like this is probably it. So I'm trying to really send it.
Yeah, yeah. You're like,
But yeah.
listen, this is all
Yeah.
I've got. I've got it.
I'm pretty
I'm gonna do this.
I got some like 99% of people, like it's so funny talking to people at my job about this too, cuz it's just like a lot of people I work with are like, you know, they work and they play and they hang out with their partners and they like, you know, go out and they do their thing, and there's nothing wrong with that. And they kind of look at me like a crazy person a little bit sometimes when I say I do this shit. And it's not like, you know, it's like some people think there's like a mystique to it, and it's like he's like, you know, getting out, and it must be kind of lucrative if he keeps on doing it. No, not at fucking all. Like the reason I do the bartending thing is because that's lucrative, but it's like this fills this fills my emotional pockets.
Sure.
Yeah.
My emotional wallet. I don't know. Dawson, what about you? I've been yapping for a bit on this one.
Yeah, I'm in a similar spot, but like I feel like this is all I have. Like if I'm not doing the band, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Like
Yeah.
I have to be doing this. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I'm working a shitty retail job and like wanting to kill myself. And like, you know, it's maybe not the healthiest way to approach this, but like I feel like that's kind of how you have to be with your passion. Like it's either this or nothing.
Sure.
It's so I don't give a shit about the 99% of bands won't make it because I will. I'm different. And
Look at you.
like
Is this guy built different? This guy's built different.
listen, the thing with that statistic is like it is true that 99% of bands will not make it. But the truth of that is that 90% of bands aren't trying.
That's fair.
And like that's just the reality of it. And if you're not, that's fine. If you just do this for fun, I don't care. That's awesome. If you make some good music out of it and you're having fun, that's amazing.
Nothing wrong with being a weekend warrior, man.
Yeah.
Like you want to go out and play, rip some gigs, and like have a fun time with your friends. That's at the end of the day, that's what this shit is all about.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
like
it's
I don't deride anyone for having their own reasons for playing a band. So the fact that 90% of bands aren't really trying, like they might want it, but they're not trying because it's hard, and that's fine. But the fact that only so many people are actually trying is kind of encouraging because you really don't have to do too much to stand out. And there's levels to this, you know, like there's a lot of times where I don't really feel like we belong anywhere. Like Jack touched on this a little bit, but like more specifically, it kind of sometimes it feels like we don't really belong in the scene specifically. So like it kind of incentivizes me to like promote the band as not really something else that sounds like or is like something that you already know, but like promote us as this new thing.
path.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
something else that is entirely divorced from this thing that you already know. Cause like the bands that we look up to, like I'll fucking name names like Dowboys, Origami Angel, they don't like fit.
Conform to shit. They don't conform to
Yeah.
absolutely fucking anything.
It's not even that they don't conform, they don't fit.
Yes.
Like genuinely, they do not fit. And that's how like that's part of how they've been able to be so successful is because like there is no one else doing it like Dowboys. There's no one else doing it like Origami Angel. There are people trying to rip them off, but they're not successful at it because there's only one.
Some would say we're trying to reach. kind of.
Well,
I've gotten that one before.
yeah, people
I'm
have
like, okay, dog.
people have
Yeah, we did a
compared us.
bossa nova thing. Yeah.
People
Wah,
have
wah, wah,
compared
wah,
us
wah.
to Gami, and like, it's nice. Like, I love Gami, but we're not Gami.
No.
We're not trying to be them either. We're trying to be Bump
Yeah,
and
there's
Hill.
something I think that as someone that's listened to all three extensively, I'd say that you're right in that the Venn diagram of all three of you in the space that you take up is that all three of you are not against any grain. There's no grain. It's just you're doing this thing that is just yours.
Yeah.
And would there be maybe a little bit of gravity towards the Gami thing? Maybe because they do a pop thing that you guys do, where Daboys does pop thing, but it's like evil pop, like. like, like that's like the only way I can explain them. And there's like their evil Fallout Boy.
Yeah.
But y'all are doing a positive thing, and that would be the closest thing I would put with between both of you, because there's something just completely different. Yeah, you guys use major chords or whatever, but there's something about your takes of incorporating pop and hardcore and their takes of incorporating pop and not necessarily hardcore, but like metal. And there's like, there's a lot of differences there. So while the person that said that you guys are ripping off Gami, I see the top layer, but if you look deep enough, there's nothing similar. Except for major chords.
Iceberg.
That's it. Pittsburgh
And the
doesn't fucking get it.
yeah. And the cool thing about that is that, like, generally if someone likes our band, they also like those two.
100%.
Like, there's huge crossover between Gami and Dowboys. And
The
like,
audience is there.
yeah,
It's there.
the audience is
That's-
there, but like, we just have to show them that we are also there, because like the evidence proves that if we're put in front of somebody who likes Dowboys and Gami, they will also like us.
Cool.
The trouble is just getting us out there. And like, it can be really difficult, especially because, like, there are a lot of emo bands who, and I'm not gonna say any band names. If you think this is about you, that's a you problem. There are a lot of emo bands that sound exactly the fucking same. And it, not to deride that or anything, there's nothing wrong with that. But that does mean that a lot of the audience is looking for that. And we don't really do that. And I'm not saying that we are better for not doing that. Not at all. But that does mean that trying to appeal to that audience does feel kind of fruitless, because they're looking for a specific sound that we are not giving them. So that's kind of part of why I feel a little disconnected from the scene in general, because there's a lot of people in the scene who are looking for a specific thing that we are not giving. And like, I know that there are people out there who will love us, but finding them often feels like trying to push through this screen of people who are not looking for us. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, right. So like, this whole, I'm going to make sure at this moment that my extrapolation is, while it's similar to you, what I'm talking about is actually like none of the bands of what you're talking about. When I came into this thing, I wanted to do 2005 all over again. That's all I wanted.
Yeah.
And because I was like, I'm finally going to just do it. I've always wanted to. I'm just going to do this thing. At a time where everyone knows how to fucking do twinkly guitar shit. First of all, how do you fucking do that? I don't know. You guys are crazy. How do you fucking just learn how to do that first before you knew?
I don't have the dexterity for that shit.
Yeah,
Like,
what are you fucking talking about that you can just like start doing that? Like, honestly, for all of you, go fuck yourselves. Like, just, I'm talking to all of you. But
I learned the riff for Never Meant one time and I forgot it. I can't do that.
who cares? I have so much, like, I like on a personal thing, like the twinkly thing, you guys are so cool for doing that. I am like not the biggest like heavy. I'm just not into it. It's fine. I find people that do like subversions of it, it's so sick. But the whole thing is that it's all this house party, right? This scene is a house party. We're all going in and just being nice there, and everyone's eyes are on this very specific. I kind of like this light analogy, where everyone's putting up like a very specific color of light right now, and what y'all are doing is putting a completely different colored light. And what's the best part about that is it's different, and everyone will see that shade outside of everyone else's. Like if twinkling guitar right now is all these different shades of purple, y'all's green light will look complete. Like people will be able to see that better than anybody else trying to discern whether this is one band or another that are all under this fifth wave emo thing. Like one reason why I like Harrison Gordon is because Harrison Gordon is considered like an emo band, but no, that's just Jeff Rosenstock part 2. Like Jeff Rosenstock is an emo band. Like for some reason Harrison Gordon's been welcomed into the emo community. Like it's like calling Pup an emo band. That's not true. Yeah. Like it's like Pup and Jeff Rosenstock are the same band. Harrison Gordon and Pup. Honestly, a tour of Harrison Gordon, Pup, and Jeff Rosenstock would fucking be. That's a bill. That's a well put together bill because those are the same things. Emo is not. First of all, kind of a sound anymore. It's kind of an idea. It's closer to the idea of DIY, anyways. Like, but the fifth wave emo thing, yeah, it is a trend, and to go against that trend right now, I think is a positive thing because it is straight up like being a different, like, I want to listen to something different. Yes, everyone else it's really talented and can do this thing. And, but because you're sacrificing, when you're doing tweaked guitars, you're sacrificing a lot of progression and you're sacrificing a lot of like, things that you can only do when you're a chord band. Like being a chord band is great because there's so many other things you could do. Like tweaked guitars is just how many notes versus how many chords.
I love being a chord band. Yeah. Let me just say,
fucking chord band, dude. Yes,
chord bands, dude. I've always been like on Far Removed. I wrote like I originally wanted it to be like a full like 3-piece thing, like just one guitar, one bass. But like I put leads in there because it like filled out the sound a lot, and I just like something about like the 4-piece is just like elite to me. Totally. Like it's perfect. It's perfect. It's like, there's no, like, you don't need anything else with it. Like you can do it with tracks. You can do it without backing tracks. You can add to it. You can subtract from, you can play it anywhere. You could play a 4-piece in a basement. You can do whatever. But like, oh shit, I had somewhere I was going. Chord band,
twinkle band,
chord bands forever.
Right. Oh, I know what I was saying. We got it. So I got it. Okay. So I love being a chord band because, and like, I feel like this is an oversimplification for sure, but I feel like emo is like, to me, always been something that's just like, you know it when you hear it.
Yeah.
It's 100%. Not something you can, it's not something you can be like, oh, this doesn't have twinkles, so it's not emo, or this doesn't have like a nasally yelpy like vocal tone, so it's not emo, or whatever. Like I would say like I mean the shit that I like, the names that I named from before is a pretty like diverse pool. Sure. Like, you know, of like styles, and I think that the band that really like hooked me was Remo Drive, and like Greatest Hits is a chord emo record. Like they like that record is lightning in a bottle. Like it is that like we are still feeling the reverberations of that record, and it is like. That was kind of like my patient zero, I feel like. But it's emo, and like to say it's not is like just straight incorrect
Yeah.
to me. Maybe what Remo Drive is doing these days isn't necessarily emo because they don't really want to be that anymore, which is great. Like, you know, all the more merit to them. I still think they're like authentic to themselves, and it's like they're doing their thing. But like, I still kind of see us as an emo band just because you know emo when you hear it. I think the things that we talk about can be like lumped in with like what is a historically like emo lyrical through line, like not feeling seen, not feeling heard, not like fitting in, feeling like isolated, feeling shitty. Like you can talk about that without talking about how much beer you're about to drink or how much like weed you're about to smoke. And like I feel like that variety of emo like is the thing that's kind of like overlapped like, you know, the fifth wave thing.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that's all of it. That's not to say that every band that really owns fifth wave only talks about that shit, because it's not true. But like there's a depth to it, man. And people like to write it off as slop, and people like to write it off as like, you know, like a shit scene or like some sort of like off to the side thing that's not like, that doesn't have any merit to it. But I think that like if you really like dig your teeth into it, there's a lot to the emo umbrella, and like being well versed in it and like knowing, like being able to like, oh, this is like good emo.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's like a skill set, I feel like. And it's something like that. It's like I'm like a sommelier with emo music. You see, I'm like,
Yes.
I'm about it like that. I know what the good shit is.
If it's not Saturdays at your place or Origami Angel, I don't fucking want it. All right, come on.
No, yeah, that's that fine Italian red. That's that.
Sorry, hold on. All right, so if Saturdays at your place at Origami Angel is red wine, then I would put like 10-month summer and like trash.
Oh, we're doing danger.
Yeah,
we're dangerous.
Listen, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not saying anything.
We're here to lift people up.
Yeah,
We're here to lift people up. All right. I'm not
Yeah.
saying. I'm not gonna say what box wine is in this analogy.
No.
All right.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna do that.
No.
All wine is good wine. All wine is good.
All wine is good. You
Yeah.
can still get drunk off of it regardless.
You can hit the Josh all night.
You
You
can
can get that.
Josh all night.
If you're a Josh band, that's awesome.
That's
I'm
awesome.
not gonna say who you are though.
Not me though. Not me though. Get your money up.
Yeah, get your money up. No, there's.
Yeah.
I think that it's. I think the state of emo and the state of DIY is in a really weird transformative time, because there's a lot of bands that have taken what is the quintessential things of DIY and quintessential things of emo, and they've been picked up by these bigger labels, and we're getting to see what happens when they get put through that machine. Like all these pure noise releases, we get to see what happens when, you know, at the end of kind of those cycles of like, oh, cool, we found like this, the beautiful golden lamb that of Ben Quad being picked up and lifted up into the heavens, and we're seeing Harrison Gordon being lifted into these spaces, and it's kind of nice where we all get to say, like, we all get to kind of take notes in a way where because this thing is kind of finally happening. Whatever wave of bands coming up. I mean, Hot Mulligan, seeing them hit a million monthlies. Insane. Free Throw, reaching to that area. Crazy. Like there's a lot of things happening in this thing, and whoever is saying that like this scene is X, Y, or Z, it doesn't matter, because people really are embracing this thing. If I'm scrolling through TikTok and I hear people like, I hear like that the voice from Hot Mulligan like doing that one song, like everyone knows what, I don't even know what the name of that song is, but it's the like whatever that like
backyard.
Backyard. I hear that all the time. Just people like, I see so many people just like do that song as a TikTok thing, and it's just like cool. this is happening. The way people have caught the wave, whether that's TikTok, whether that's something, it doesn't matter. Like it's cool to be here. And I think that outside looking in, it's just weird. And so inside you're like, oh no, that it's crazy. Shit's like going on right now.
Yeah.
There's something for everybody. Like in it. It really, like if you're all about twinkles and like the getting, like I'm like I partake, man. Like if you're into like twinkles and lyrics about smoking weed and getting drunk, like that's your bag. There's also like you just can't write it off as only that. Because there's like a breadth of emotional like that's why it's called emo. You know, we're not just like that's an oversimplification.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, like it's so cool, like seeing all the, like the big labels, like kind of, platform, like these up and comers. Like one of my favorite bands is Microwave. They're from Atlanta, and they're like, they put out that record, Let's Start Degeneracy last year, or the year before that. And it's evolving, like, their whole sound from like this, like into something like beyond, like
the Stovall.
It's just like
it's so,
the Stovall
it's
thing.
So
yeah,
different now, and like they're allowed.
And I am I'm a student of the Stovall thing. Like I jacked that tuning, bro. That's like that. I love that shit. I love Stovall. I love Much Love. I'm all about like that era of Microwave. I'm all about like their whole discography, because they've evolved and stuff. But it's like, yeah, they've like elevated to that point just by being them, and like by being authentic, and like, and they're still like, kind of a highly coveted band by a lot of people that like, also are into the rest of emo. And it's like you could argue on whether you would categorize Degeneracy as an emo record or not, but it doesn't really fucking matter anymore, because they're just Microwave now.
Like,
and I feel like that should be the goal for everybody, man. Like that's like is to because and that's what we're trying to do. We're just Bummer Hill. Like emo is in our roots, and it's like it's like the lifeblood of our sound, but like, we're us, and that's our identity, is just being us.
The downside with that is like, you kind of have to prove yourself really hard. I feel like there, like with what we were talking about how like a certain style of emo is kind of like getting big, and more bands are getting signed. There's kind of a buffer that comes with that. If you're doing that, then the labels already know that works.
Yes.
And so it's easier to get signed. But if you're doing something that's like if you're doing something different, you have to prove that people will fuck with that before you get any attention from a label. Like we've done the whole song and dance of sending out an email to like 18 labels and hearing back from none of them. And like that's how it is now. Label reps don't come to shows like that anymore.
No.
It's not 2005 anymore. You can't put out a record and then get signed the next day, or you can't like have a demo and show it to a label rep and then have them pay for your whole record.
Slip a CD under the door.
Yeah, that's just not how it works anymore. You have to prove that an audience is going to listen to your shit, and even more so if you're trying to do your own thing.
Yeah,
no.
I agree. I think it's weird. I think actually, like, there is also something kind of cyclical about like maybe people just haven't done enough of the CD thing. I think someone starts doing that right now. That might actually be sick as fuck, but like actually just do a cassette tape. Like just go even further back, send them like an 8-track of like this whole thing. Like there's something funny about that. But like, it's really interesting you bring that up, because it's like there's a lot of I remember being like, oh wait, Ben Quad's going on Pure Noise. Let me look at all the people that are on Pure Noise. And then you're like, I I haven't heard of like 4 or 5 of these bands. And you're like, how did they get on there? And like, there's so many just stories. There's just so many things on like how you get involved with big label stuff. Like if you look at, Capitol Records, not discography, but like their roster, and you're like, I haven't even heard of 90% of those people. And maybe it's just those are the people that are just on the current roster and they're not allowed to make anything else. Who knows? But like when it comes to the label thing and all that stuff, is there like a dream label that you would like to be on?
Even want to say because I don't want to jinx it.
Okay, true, real shit, real fucking haunted warlock shit. I totally get that.
Yeah, I don't want to like put it out there and then get signed to someone else and then it doesn't work out and then this clip like resurfaces.
Sure,
and it's like, oh, that's embarrassing.
There's not one, but we can probably name a few. Like I don't. Or do you even want to do that?
I don't know. I mean,
hold on. You can. We will keep that. I will. What I'll do is I'm just gonna freeze you guys right there, and I'm going to make you. I'm gonna put just a bunch of record labels just in front of your faces right there. It's like and just like put 100 of them. Just.
Yeah,
it could be any.
It's probably in there. It's probably
in there, and like therefore you cover your base.
Is open.
Yeah. Ooh.
This
our
one.
inbox is.
Ooh. What about this one? What about that one?
Oh my god, the TikTok version of it.
Yes, fund our next full length record. It will be more than 10 tracks, and we need so much money to make it. So we need so much money because we don't want to sound like dog shit.
Yes.
We like to hire a guy who knows what he's doing.
Yes, we've crossed the border.
We need money for that.
We've crossed the border of having a record that sounds good, and we cannot go back.
Cannot go back.
No, the bar is set so high. Far Removed sounds so good.
Thank you. That's our guys, Dom Maduri, Toast and Jam Studios, Atlanta, Georgia, for all your engineering, producing, and mixing needs.
Yeah. That one we got
that guy.
We got Drew Portalatin, who does all of Gami stuff now. We got him to mix that record.
Well, he didn't he mixed Brightest Days, but he just is I think Drew is he's exclusively their front of house guy for their live show. I don't think he mixed.
He mixes their live set,
yeah.
He did.
I don't think he mixed the newest Gami record.
No, that was Will Yip.
Yeah, that was Will Yip.
I think.
Oh,
it was someone.
But Drew's a yeah.
I always think of Turnstile as just the Will Yip band, and so like to know that Will Yip was involved with that's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got him to do Far Removed, but now we have Dom mixing our stuff now as well because Dom did the whole Dowboys record, that new one, and that new record sounds unbelievable. Like he's such a flexible and skilled producer that like, and also I live 20 minutes from him, so it would kind of be stupid to not go with him.
Totally. It's just literally like, hey, by the way, I walked by your house. I dropped something off.
By the way, I'm outside your window.
By the way, I'm outside your window.
Can we record a record?
Like, 100%. So you got these 2 new songs coming out. I've listened to them. I'm very excited about where everything's kind of going. What is the difference between like working on the writing side of, Far Removed and now, and then like, this is kind of like your animation stuff before this next record or this next thing that you're doing. So what are you trying to convey about the future of Bummer Hill?
I think that I kind of touched on this earlier, but like we're definitely fine tuning our sounds because there's plenty of bands doing like the kind of genre bendy like eclectic thing, and we're still doing that to extent. We're exploring other styles, and we're a very like multifaceted band that's into a lot of different kinds of music, and we still want to convey that, but like we're like our sound is a lot more rooted now, I feel like, and these songs are kind of a taste of that, because it's like we're still like rooted in our hooks and in our kind of top of the line songwriting, but like this double single is kind of letting every individual member of the band do what they want on these tracks. Like we have our drummer Rui like really fully like letting loose in a couple moments here. Got like this is really Chance's kind of debut, our lead guitarist with us, because he wrote all of these parts, and he is like really stretching on these tracks. So yeah, this is kind of like introducing the lineup really of like this is the team that's working on like the next big thing, and this is the type of unpredictability and kind of vibe that we're looking at for the next big thing. But yeah, this project is really cool. I think it's our best shit pretty handily.
Now I've got it.
And
I've got to do this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you
Yeah.
what these songs are about.
Okay, that's fine. You can do
I'm
that.
gonna do it. I have
You
to.
can do that.
Yeah. So the songs are about there's a lyrical through line through both of them. It's kind of about like saying something but not really feeling like heard, and like having things said to you and not really feeling like you're hearing them, and just kind of feeling like you're in a box and like just not really being understood properly, and kind of feeling isolated as a result of that. And I think it's kind of through a lens of like I am developing tinnitus and shit, and like I can't like I have to ask people to repeat themselves a lot. But it's also, I feel like we're in a world right now where people don't really give a shit, and everybody's in their own little bubble, and nobody really wants to interact with people unless they've like given agency to themselves to like do so, and that's it. And like
Unless they're
to
fighting
like get
each
out
other.
Mhm.
yeah, it feels like people are really like resisting connecting, and that's kind of like a visual motif in the music video too. And like there's a lot of that's kind of, it's called Don't Ask Me What These Songs Are About, because it's like a complete lack of desire to communicate. I feel like just in general.
There's something interesting there, because it's like if you ask what the songs are about, there's this like, are you sure? Because I might say something that you may not like about it. Like it's like there's kind of like this. Don't ask me what these songs are about, because you have some like what's the best way to explain it? It's like you have bad news. Like it's this thing where it's like, listen, I'm so sorry. In a world where we're trying to be like, positive all the time and lifting people up, it's like, if you ask me what these songs are about, this might like darken like the moment.
Yeah. And I feel like that's kind of, it kind of gives us reason to treat this as more of a serious release. Like, I look at this in league with our albums. I look at this as like a legitimate project. I don't see this as like a double single that leads towards another thing, like, or a taste of something. This is its own complete project. And part of that
happens to be 2 songs.
Yeah, it just happens to be 2 songs. And that part of it where like we have so much thematically going through it, I think kind of gives us an excuse to. I don't know like how much that'll be picked up on. I hope people pick up on it. You can really never tell before you put something out. But yeah, it's very important to us that this kind of, like, even if you don't get it, I want people to feel like there's something going on. I want people to feel like that there is more to investigate about it.
Yeah, there's a tension to these songs. I feel like there's like I don't know, there's some drama to them, and they're still fun. Like they both Come Again specifically kind of has like our trademark kind of poppy, like happy-go-lucky energy to it, like sonically, but lyrically there's some like more troubling kind of undertones that kind of continue through the second track as well.
Yeah.
In
Come Again,
like
Jack
also,
is fucking begging to be heard, and then Call Me What You Like is like accepting that no one's listening to him.
yeah. Yeah.
Which like
yeah.
it goes in
So-
tandem with the sound darkening as well.
If you're watching Jack right now, he's completely dissociated as realizing that is 100% the truth there. Oh my gosh. It's all right. So here it actually is. Here's the back to back. This is Don't Ask Me What These Songs Are About. that was Don't Ask Me What These Songs Are About, the new double single project, this perfect novella of in between two novels of what the Bummer Hill thing is. Jack, Dawson, y'all are the homies. Thank you so much for fucking hopping on for well over an hour and a half to just like yap with me. This is so sick.
Yeah, man.
I love.
Thanks for having us. This is
I love to chat.
Yeah, dude.
yeah, we're yapping. Thanks for having. This was super cool.
Hey,
Thanks for having
I
us.
love you guys. Bummer Hill forever, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Love you, Kristy.
Thank you, Kristy.
Absolutely.
Bye.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Uh oh. Uh oh.